From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, flood kills 6 in Niger State. Plateau Court acquits ex-governor Jang of alleged 6.3 billion corruption charges. Tribunal sacks Plateau lawmaker, declares PRP candidate winner of by-election. On the foreign scene, mosque blast kills at least 18 in Afghanistan. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Diron Onifade. Flood has killed 7 people in Magana and Rafi local government areas of Niger State. Director General, Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Ahmed Ibrahim Nga, who made this known in a statement on Friday, said 6 lives were lost in Magama and 1 in Rafi. He said many people have also been rendered homeless as their houses, farmlands, bridges, and some roads were washed away in Lavum. Magama, Rafi, Kontangora, Bako, Meshegu, and Wushishi local governments. The Nsema DG warned that the general assessment of the impact of the rainfall is still ongoing, calling on communities to clear drainages and flush away stagnant water to avoid breeding mosquitoes to prevent malaria. He also warned against building on waterways and dumping of refuse in a drainage system, urging riverine communities to limit their activities along riverbanks during this peak of the rainy season to avoid being flooded. At least 1,000 flood victims across 13 local governments of Katsina State on Thursday benefited from relief items distributed by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. The items were handed over to the state government by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Sadia Umar Farouk, in the company of the Director General of NEMA, Mustafa Kabir, at the Katsina Native Authority premises. He, however, called on beneficiaries to desist from building structures on water channels and ensure that they clear their drainages and water channels regularly to avert recurrence. The NEMA DG recalled that the agency had, since before the commencement of this year's seasonal rainfall, issued warning messages across the possible flood risk areas in the Federation for residents to be on the alert. 2 soldiers were said to have been killed, 2 hospitalized, while another 2 went missing when terrorists laid ambush at the Shimfida-Jibia feeder road last Wednesday. Among the suspected missing soldiers is the officer in charge of the formation. Eyewitnesses' account revealed that the 2 wounded soldiers are currently receiving medical attention at the Federal Teaching Hospital in Katsina. The other brave soldiers on the Armored Personnel Carrier APC who escaped unhurt were said to have engaged the terrorists in a serious gun battle. Unfortunately, the terrorists escaped with 1 woman who was among the people that are being escorted to buy foodstuff in Jibia by the military personnel. The soldiers were said to have been using the only APC to escort residents to and from Shimfida villages to buy foodstuff. In a telephone conversation, a resident of Shimfida village told Trust TV's Abdullah Yamadi that the terrorists were suspected to have detonated an explosive device while causing serious damage on the Armored Personnel Carrier APC. All efforts to reach the public relations officer of the brigade in Katsina proved abortive as he did not respond to several calls put to him by Trust TV. Former Governor of Plateau State, Jonah Jang, and the former cashier to the office of the Secretary to the Plateau State Government, Yusuf Pam, have been discharged and acquitted of the 6.3 billion naira fraud allegations by the State High Court. Dixon Adama reports that the EFCC had in 2018 accused Jang of diverting 2 billion naira provided by the Central Bank of Nigeria for empowering youths and women on small and medium-scale enterprises, as well as misappropriation and diversion of funds meant for the State Universal Basic Education, SUBEB, among others. In our judgment, however, Justice Daboop said the EFCC could not prove the case of misappropriation and diversion of public funds against the former governor beyond reasonable doubt. The court therefore quashed all 17 count charges leveled against the former governor and the government cashier, saying that it lacked merit. Reacting, Jang's lead counsel, Mike Ozekome, SAN, said the victory is well-deserved, adding that Jang remains an asset to the state.
Stands for is that Senator David Jonah Jang has been discharged and acquitted by the High Court of Plateau State after a 4.5-year trial which started on the 4th of May 2018 with the counts amended on the 30th of September 2019. So between 4th of May 2018 and today's 2nd of September 2022, Jonah Jang has been going through the ordeal, the harrowing experience of a criminal trial, being prosecuted by the EFCC, has been discharged and acquitted by the court of all the 17 count charge. 17 counts charge. He was discharged and acquitted. So he's a free man. That's the man you were saying stole billions of money. They can't found that no one kobo was stolen by this man. That the 2.5 billion naira that CBN gave to Plateau State government was given as a loan, acknowledged and vindicated by the State House of Assembly. Today is a day when justice has been enthroned, but more importantly, today is a day that we must glorify God with full adoration forever, and ever, and ever. Amen. God bless you.
Meanwhile, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has been responding to the judgment. Wilson Wojare, head media and publicity of the EFCC, said in a statement Friday evening that the commission has commenced appeal processes. The report of the forensic auditors engaged by the Kwara State governor has revealed a colossal theft of government money during the 8-year tenure of former governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed, totaling 11.9 billion naira. The report also showed that the 2 billion naira cash withdrawal not tied to any project or official expenditure was made within 8 days in February 2019, barely 1 month to the general election. The report.
Following certain discoveries about the treasury of Kwara State government, Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak employed the services of a private audit firm to audit the 8-year tenure of his predecessor, Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed. Speaking during the submission of the report to the governor, partner at the SSAC and professionals, Anthony Inemo, revealed that not less than 11.9 billion naira was scattered away between the year 2011 and 2019. The report also revealed that some loans were obtained by the state government during the period, whereas the element of these loans could not be validated. The report suggested to the government to prosecute some individuals and firms indicted in 2-volume report, while other issues are to be referred to an administrative panel of inquiry for some individuals to explain their roles in the infractions.
We recommended to the state government to prosecute certain officers and companies in addition to claiming exemplary damages on the transaction totaling 6 billion. There was also a cash withdrawal within 8 days of about 2 billion in February 2019, which was of interest to the audit. However, no documentation was No documentation was made available to validate the purpose for which the money was withdrawn.
It just confirms what we've been expecting and alluding to all along, what the state has been going through. Well, we also saw that it has taken a bit of time. I know there were certain deliberate efforts to obstruct your work, and that's why it's taking time. We know you made various complaints about that, and we've tried to push those that were supposed to open the doors for you to make the work easy for you. But well done. Your report will help us put the state in the right direction to deepen transparency and accountability.
Reacting, the former chief press secretary to the former governor, Wahab Oba, described the allegations as naive and unspecific and generally unfounded, adding that the expenditure during the period under review was properly appropriated and followed due process. He says since they left office more than 3 years ago, the accounts have been properly audited by various auditing agencies and had been certified. He alleged that in coming 6 months to election on the legality or otherwise of the expenditure is an afterthought that is politically motivated.
The National and State House of Assembly's Election Petition Tribunal in Plateau State has sacked Musa Aga of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), who represents Bassa Jos North Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. The tribunal had also ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to return Mohammed Adam Alkali of the People's Redemption Party (PRP) as the authentic winner of the February by-election for the constituency. Ado Musa completes this story.
Judgment of the tribunal in Jos, chaired by Justice Hope Uzo, voided election of the PDP lawmaker. The panel, which had Kadi Usman Umar and Justice Zainab Bashir, held that the petitioners, PRP and Muhammad Alkali, have proved their case beyond reasonable doubt. Justice Bashir, while reading the judgment, said the petitioners have proven that the PDP did not validly nominate Musa Aga, having a subsisting judgment of High Court which affirmed that the PDP had no valid structure in the state to nominate a candidate for any elective position. The tribunal also held that there was overvoting in the result declared by INEC that produced the winner of the 26 February 2022 by-election at 27 polling units in Tudunwada Kabon Ward in Jos North. Counsel for the petitioners, Yakubu Ruba, SAN, said he is happy with the judgment and the outcome is a victory to democracy.
The press, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard what she said, this is a victory for the people of Plateau State. This is a victory for all of us, and this is a victory for the judiciary. You see, there are two basic issues decided in this tribunal today.
The PRP candidate, Muhammad Alkali, expressed satisfaction with the judgment, calling on his opponent to accept the verdict.
It's hope and future in the system. There's a lot of reform. You know, I'm from minority party. That's the PRP. So I think there's a future. I want to check for replacing a card reader, Beavers. And I'm calling my politicians friends. Don't ever, something doesn't belong to you.
The tribunal, however, awarded 3 million naira cost against the first and the second respondents, Bin Musa Aga and his party, the PDP. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Chairman, Northern Elders Forum, NEF, Professor Ango Abdullahi, says the North will participate in all political and electoral activities as equals and with respect to other Nigerians who respect them. The elder statesman stated this at a public lecture in Kaduna. The report.
The lecture was organized by the Center for Leadership Development and Research in collaboration with Arewa Youth Alliance for Good Governance and the Northern Elders Forum. Speakers at the lecture dwelt on the state of the nation and the 2023 general election. The chairman Northern Elders Forum, Professor Ango Abdullahi, while delivering his speech, said the country is in turmoil.
Our country as a whole is in a state of turmoil, if I may use the expression. I don't mind being quoted using that expression because the country is in turmoil now.
On the 2023 election, the elder statesman said the North is yet to have candidates.
I'm not being fully informed in terms of who is who and who is that who and what he wants to do, not for me, but for society and for the country. What we are being bombarded with are posters. Posters don't speak.
Nigeria was met with the unfortunate situation of withdrawal of subsidy to fertilizer, a critical input of agriculture.
This country is in the ICU. When a patient, I know I'm a doctor, when a patient is in the ICU, you do not call a rookie. You need an experienced hand.
At another public discourse organized in Kaduna by Arewa Movement for Good Governance, the vices bedeviling the country and the solutions were discussed. Keynote speaker Usman Bigaja said the only way for Nigeria to get out of the wood is to have credible leadership.
Situation today, and we need to get out of this place. And the way to do so is to put our heads together and do what other countries who have found themselves in similar situations have done before. And that is to focus on development and to produce the credible leadership that is required to lead development.
Unfortunately, today, the same northern Nigeria is hit by insecurity, corruption, and all forms of violence that has relegated the northern part of Nigeria, that is making northern part of Nigeria not to appear relevant again.
The event is coming at a time when electioneering campaign for the 2023 election draws near, and the northern electorates are searching for credible leaders who will help the region tackle insecurity that hinders development in the region. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Ahead of the 2023 general elections, the Electoral Forum is engaging stakeholders within the sector to dialogue on policies aimed at enhancing electoral accountability and integrity by learning and sharing good practices for addressing vote buying and selling from comparative experience. This formed part of the deliberations at a dialogue supported by the Open Society Initiatives for West Africa while establishing the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022, creating awareness about electoral offenses, sanctions, and deterrence. Trust TV's Isa Shaliu reports.
The need to address the negative effects of the dynamics and sociology of vote trading as it affects the country's electoral system while entrenching deepening participation and role of the citizens towards achieving a better democracy has given rise to these policy dialogue by members of the National Assembly, chairmen of State Electoral Commission and Anti-Corruption Agency, civil society organizations, in a bid to eradicate the long-lasting corrupt culture building up to the elections.
They still look forward to good quality governance. Even after you've sold your conscience, you've sold your vote, you still wait back and hope that by some streak of luck that there will be quality governance. But we know that it's impossible for you to have that.
In the fight against trading in votes, essentially because it complements the war against corruption in Nigeria.
Although factors such as ignorance, poverty, Greed and desperation, lack of convincing manifestos and lack of confidence in voters, leading to inducement, have been stated to perpetuate vote trading, but a number of solutions have been preferred to eradicate the practice with the provision of more stringent penalties as consequences, increased voter education on the masses and political parties, and making public offices less lucrative, among others.
The law empowers INEC to prosecute, but the law does not give it the power to arrest and investigate. Based on this lacuna in the nation's statute books, experts, including politicians, have raised issues on the urgency of having a commission saddled with such responsibility in place.
The National Assembly for the public hearing of the Electoral Offences Commission, and they are making good progress with the bill, and we're hoping that something good will happen soon in that regard. I must say that with us at INEC, we're going to intensify our voter education, sensitize the people more with regards to vote buying. As soon as people begin to have faith in the electoral process, they'll begin to see the power that they have over those who are running for politics.
According to these policymakers, the act of vote trading takes away the right and dignity of the electorates, leaving the electoral process and democratic system void of morality and development. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Osun State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has expelled a 2022 governorship aspirant, Dotun Babayemi, for alleged anti-party activities. Babayemi, who emerged as a governorship candidate in a parallel Congress, but did not become PDP flag bearer, was accused of anti-party activities by the local executive of PDP. The ward executive members of Otun Balogun II in Ayedade local government area of the state made the pronouncement during a press conference at the state secretariat in Oshogbo on Friday. Reading the address on behalf of the EXCOs, the secretary of the ward, Ogunleye Bukayo, said the factional governorship candidate was expelled due to a petition filed against him by some party members. Reports said before the July 16 election, Babayemi had tried to secure a court judgment to sack Ademola Adeleke, the Osun governor-elect, as the candidate of the PDP, but lost. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje on Friday swore in 9 newly appointed commissioners. The commissioners were screened and approved for appointment by the State House of Assembly. They replaced members of the State Executive Council who resigned to contest positions in the 2023 general elections. Ganduje, while announcing their portfolios, said the new appointees were selected based on their integrity and antecedents, urging them to bring their wealth of experience to bear in the administration of the state. The new commissioners are Dan Azumi Gorozo, posted to Planning and Budget Ministry, Abdulrahim Dan Maliki, Rural and Community Development, Lamin Sani Zawiya, Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, and Yo Yanshana, Education Ministry. Others are Garba Yusuf, Water Resources, Dr. Yusuf Rurum, Agriculture, Saleh Kauseni, Housing and Transport, Ali Musa Hamza, Tourism and Culture, Kabiru Muhammad, Special Duties, and Adamu Abdul Panda, Finance Ministry. Okay. Now, as the strike by the academic staff of university unions enters 7 months, many university students have resorted to learning trade to fill the gap. Speaking with Trust TV's Amedo Yegbade in Oshogbo, the students of University of Ilorin, David Oni and Aisha Abdulkarim, said they had improved in their trade and that they are learning. The students appeal to the federal government and ASU to resolve issues and end the strike.
University of Ilorin. ASU has been on strike since March till now. Early during the strike, I decided to start learning some trades instead of just staying at home and doing nothing. So I decided to start learning how to barb. I have a couple of other things in mind. Hopefully the strike ends soon. This is just an appeal for the federal government and ASU to put an end to the strike and allow students to go back to school.
I'm a student of the University of Ilorin. It's so sad that students have been at home for almost a session now because of the issue between the federal government and ASU. A lot of students are idle, while some students got things to do. Like me now, I've got myself involved in trading. I've been learning how to buy and sell. I hope the government and the ASU will solve their issue on time so we can go back to our academic activities.
Member Federal House of Representatives and former Minister of State for Education, Aishat Duku, has called on the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, to both go back to the drawing board in order for them to bring a long-lasting solution to the lingering industrial action by the union. She made this call while responding to questions during a courtesy call to Media Trust Limited. Duku says the strike, which has been on for over 6 months, has kept university students at home and idle.
It is the grass that suffers. Our children are at home and parents are not happy. The society, the entire country is not happy about the situation. Always reaching a deadlock, is not a solution. I want to call on the two sides. Both government and ASU should face reality. There is no option other than to come back still to the drawing table because there must be a solution. It cannot continue to linger on like this while our children are at home. And they say an idle mind is a devil's workshop. And this is not good for the country. I want to say that the solution is still to go back to the drawing table. Let us all be sincere in our approach. Let ASU look at what the government is saying, and let the government also look at what ASU is saying. And I'm sure there is a solution. Only that, something somewhere is wrong, which, has to be looked at and it has to be addressed. But it should not be allowed to continue.
Report just reaching us indicates that fire has gutted 2 buses belonging to the Abuja Urban Mass Transport Company. The fire razed down the vehicles inside the premises of the company along Katampe Expressway, adjacent to VIO office. Details of the incident are sketchy, but reports say it was raining when the incident happened. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, how cattle market impacts economy. Stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Good Morning Nigeria. Year after year, they have informed, educated, and entertained us. When you needed information, knowledge, or an escape.
From generation to generation, the Nigerian broadcasting industry has worked tirelessly to serve you.
This November, broadcasters all over Nigeria will gather for the maiden edition of the Nigerian Broadcasting Awards, an award ceremony set to reward hard work and unflinching excellence in the broadcast media. They have served and are still serving. It's time to say thank you. This award is organized by the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON. For more details, log on to www.tnbawards.ng and follow our social media handles at TNB Awards.
If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV, a recap of our top stories. Flood kills 6 in Niger State, and Plateau Court acquits ex-Governor Jang of alleged 6.3 billion naira corruption charges. Now moving to other stories. Nigerian youths have been urged to imbibe the virtue of hard work and diligence if they must succeed in everything they do and contribute meaningfully to the development of the country. The call was made during a drama presentation in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, to discourage forced marriages. The report.
The event is organized to celebrate the dignity of labor, one of the virtues which the federal government of Nigeria wants to inculcate in her citizens through the educational institutions. It is to also promote and encourage literary study in Nigeria and discourage forceful marriage among children. Reverend Sister Chinyere Anyabara blamed the rot in the education system, health and other sectors of the Nigerian economy to lack of...
Most of the rots we experience in the educational system, the health sector, and indeed different sectors of life is as a result of the absence of hard work. Hard work can be seen as an essential tool that provides the individual with the ability to be independent, to be successful, to develop, and most importantly, to find meaning in life.
The Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Matthew Kuka, represented by Reverend Father Kelvin Obinachi, advised parents to devote time to inculcate in their children the need for them to embrace hard work, stressing that is the only sure way to success in life. The Zamfara State Commissioner for Information, Ibrahim Dosara, enjoined the various ethno-religious groups in the state to continue to live in peace and harmony with one another for the progress and development of the state and the country.
We are in the present age where all our children, they want to ride big cars, they want to ride a big jeep, but they don't want to work hard. And there is need for you parents, after watching this piece, after watching this wonderful drama, I'm sure it will be wonderful, to have time to encourage your children about the need of hard work.
This very special occasion, which is targeted towards encouraging reading culture in our schools, as well as discouraging forced marriage within our community. I also want to use this occasion to call on all the ethno-religious groups in Zamfara State to continue to live in peace, harmony, and good rapport.
Some of the participating students appeal to parents to stop forcing their children to early marriage.
Mothers should not force their children into early marriage, because if you watch the play, it's an early marriage. The mother forced her child, and what happened? It leads to the death. So it's not good to force somebody into what the person doesn't want to do.
Forced and early child marriage are some of the challenges which stakeholders in Nigeria are working to discourage.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Farouk, has flagged off a cash grant of 20,000 naira each to 7,000 vulnerable persons in the state for them to either start a business or add to their capital. This is part of the policies of the President Muhammadu Buhari administration towards eradicating poverty and lifting the lives of the poor and vulnerable persons, amounting to over 10 million across the country. The occasion, which took place at the Katsina Government House Banquet Hall, saw the presence of beneficiaries, mostly women, physically challenged persons, as well as disabled persons drawn from the 34 local government area of the state. While giving a rundown of assorted programs under the National Social Investment Program, she explained that the programs were introduced in 2016 by President Buhari to tackle the issues of poverty, unemployment, and other related ills in society. On his part, the governor of Katsina State, Aminu Bello Masari, who was represented by the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Tasiu Zango, said since the return of democracy in 1999, there has never been a people-oriented government that is more close to the common man than that of President Muhammadu Buhari, whom he said is committed to the welfare of the average Nigerian. Catholic Archbishop of Jos, Most Reverend Matthew Ishaya Audu, has called on Christians and Muslims in Plateau State to initiate dialogue aimed at achieving peaceful coexistence among them. Reverend Matthew, who made the call when he paid a visit to the Hausa community of Bunkuru in Jos South local government area of the state, said dialogue is the only way to attain peace and communal harmony. Ado Musa completes the report.
Jos South local government is one of the local government areas that suffer from ethno-religious conflicts following the crisis that engulfed Jos North in 2001 and subsequently extended to other communities. Reverend Matthew, while speaking at the Palace of Muslim Community, said peace can only be achieved through dialogue and peaceful coexistence among various ethnic groups. He said crisis has divided residents of the state, noting, however, that peace is gradually returning to the affected areas.
We can go back, talk to our people. We are children of the same family. God created all of us, despite different religion. Yes, as human beings, the devil too can enter people and spoil us. In Christianity, they are bad people, as well as there are in Islam. And we should shun those people and embrace what will bring peace, tolerance, coexistence, and bring, in fact, development to our place.
In his response, the leader of Hausa community in Bukuru, Nasiru Suleiman, represented by his elder brother, Ali Muhammad, believes that the people can still remain as one united family by preaching peace.
Let's continue to having dialogue. By the grace of God, we pray. Peace will reign. Amen. Because we are all one family before. I remember this. During Salah festivity, you see our Christian friends coming to us. We celebrate together. During Christmas, you will see us together.
Other stakeholders at the event also call on all residents of the state to embrace dialogue for enduring peace and harmony among various ethnic groups in the state. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The Akwa Ibom State Police Command has arrested a 40-year-old woman, Joy Emmanuel Sunday, for kidnapping her husband and collecting 2 million naira as ransom. Mrs. Sunday said she was forced to kidnap her husband, Emmanuel Samson Ebong, an indigene of Ntak Obio Akwa, in Oruk Anam local government area of Akwa Ibom State, because he stabbed her of sex and abandoned his children. Sunday, who was among the 29 other persons paraded for various offenses, including kidnapping, said she was subjected to engaging in all sorts of menial jobs to fend for herself and her children when her husband married another woman. Speaking on Friday in Uyo, she noted that the situation forced her to arrange for the kidnap of her husband to get money to take care of the children. But unfortunately, she was not given the ransom money after the abduction was successful. The rescued husband, Emmanuel Samson, said he was kidnapped on July 21 in his compound. Hip-hop artist Henry Zamani, popularly known as Ice Prince, has been arrested by the police in Lagos for allegedly driving a vehicle without number plate. The singer was also accused of assaulting a police officer who flagged down his car around 3 a.m. on Friday. The Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Benjamin Hundeyi, who revealed the incident in his Twitter page, said the Oleku crooner threatened to throw the policeman into the river, adding that he would be arraigned Friday. Ice Prince, also known as Ice Prince Zamani, rose to fame after releasing Oleku, one of Nigeria's most remixed songs of all time. His debut album, Everybody Loves Ice Prince, was released in 2011. It was followed by 3 singles, Oleku, Superstar, and Juju. His second album, Fire of Zamani, was released in 2013, containing the singles Aboki, More, Gimme That, among others. The federal government says it will commence repair works on the Ogun-bound lane of the Kara Bridge along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway effective Saturday, September 3, 2022. The Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, Frederick Oladende, in a statement, said he received a notification from the Federal Minister of Works on the ongoing reconstruction works along the Berger-Opik axis of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway project for an emergency fixing of the expansion joint that got damaged. The notification explained that the urgent repair work needed to be carried out on 3 of the expansion joints to prevent accidents and vehicular damages, hence the need to inform the residents and the motorists on the outbound Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The Transport Commissioner said on Friday. Oladende said the state governments will collaborate with the Federal Road Safety Corps, the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, and the Ogun State Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Corps to provide adequate diversion and effective traffic management systems during the period of the repair. The ever-busy Bergantari border cattle market in Jigawa State is approximately not more than 200 meters square in size. Despite its size, the market gets its supply from within Nigeria and the neighboring Niger Republic, with stock thrice the capacity of the market arriving 2 days ahead of the market day. In this special report, Trust TV's Northwest correspondent Idris Jibrin went to the market and now reports.
The viability of this market may not be unconnected to its border location, which makes it possible to have all types of cattle breeds, with buyers trooping from across the country and Niger Republic. This market is a central market in northern Nigeria because it is where you can find cows, donkeys, horses, goats, camels, and agricultural produce, as well as any other product you can find in any international market around the world. The most unique feature of the market is the international status it is assuming by the day. Apart from playing host to local cattle buyers from different parts of the country, international buyers also do come here from Niger Republic. There are people all over the country like Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano, Kaduna, Warri, Abuja. Every day they come to buy here. People from different towns in Niger Republic are right now inside the market doing their businesses. According to traders, major dealers from the southern part of the country buy cattle and donkeys in large quantity from Maigatari for supply to market in the south, and that Maigatari cattle market supplies the southern part of the country with about 100 trailers of cattle on weekly basis.
Sometimes they do and they can't go Yoruba or Ibadan side east. Some people they can't skin, people that buy skin export them to outside country. The price they so cost. Now see as this money will come here, nobody get it buy because price they fall down where they sell them. Here where they now still there up.
The cattle market usually gets its supply locally from Guru, Garin Alkali, and Babangida in Yobe State, Dambata in Kano State, as well as from Maiadwa in Katsina State, while Niger Republic supplies from the towns of Dangas and Magai. These cattle you are seeing here are coming from different parts of northern Nigeria, but we do get supplies from Niger Republic. Here in Nigeria, we supplied about 95%, and 5% are brought to us from Niger Republic. With over 10 million people trading here weekly, traders here say cattle and other livestock are being brought from different parts of northern Nigeria, in part Niger Republic, and they are being taken to different parts of the world, especially in the West African sub-region. But traders say they need capital in order to continue to sustain this business so that the market will be booming the way it's been booming before. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Jigawa.
And for more on business, let's join Chamunda Beng.
The value of capital imported into Nigeria as a whole climbed to $1.535 billion in the second quarter of 2022 from $875.62 million in the equivalent quarter of 2021, a 75.34% rise. Capital importation declined by 2.4% from $1.573 billion in the previous quarter, according to data from the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. Portfolio investments, which accounted for 49.33% of the total capital importation and $757.32 million in total, brought in the most money. With $1,054.18 million, Lagos State is the largest investment destination in Quarter 2 2022, accounting for 68.66% of all capital investments into Nigeria. Following that, $453.95 million, which is 29.57% in investments, was made in Abuja. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has prevented the federal government from importing muriate of potash, which is one of the main raw materials needed for mixing the farm inputs and comes from Russia. This has contributed to the country's high fertilizer costs. Urea and limestone are two of the four main raw materials used in the mixing of compound fertilizers, while diammonium phosphate and muriate of potash are imported from Morocco, or Belarus or Russia, respectively. Conflicts between Russia and Ukraine and the restrictions brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic resulted into a considerable gap, particularly for MOP, which is obtained from Belarus and Russia. NPK fertilizer bag prices have increased from 5,500 naira to 28,000 naira. However, industry participants have criticized the federal government for importing raw materials when they are readily available in Nigeria. Nigeria imported salt and other locally available goods from Asia and South America for at least 155 billion naira over the past 2 years, despite indigenous companies struggling with high manufacturing costs. During the same time period, the nation allocated around 198 billion naira for the development of natural resources, particularly salt. Nigeria spent 155 billion naira to import salt, palm oil, and coal, according to the National Bureau of Statistics report on foreign trade statistics. According to a different report by the Federation Account Allocation Committee, 198 billion naira was set aside for the country's natural resource development. According to the NBS's foreign trade statistics, Nigeria mostly imported palm oil from China and Indonesia, while importing crude salt from Brazil. That's all for business news. I am Chamun Dabeng.
On the foreign scene, an explosion at a mosque in the city of Herat in western Afghanistan killed a high-profile pro-Taliban scholar as well as more than a dozen civilians. Images on social media on Friday showed that what appeared to be blood-stained bodies scattered around the mosque compound. There was no immediate claim of responsibility. 18 people were martyred in the incident, and 23 others were wounded. A spokesman for the governor of Herat province told reporters the blast went off in the Gujarat Mosque during Friday noon prayers. Now, we go to sports now. And for that, we invite Adeyi Ajishafe.
The Nigerian Women Football League has announced October 12 as the new kickoff date for 2022-2023 Premiership season after its earlier postponement from September 14. Chief Operating Officer of the NWFL, Modupe Shabi, says the postponement in the kickoff date was due to 3 factors which cannot be ignored by the NWFL board: the involvement of Nigerian Premiership club players in the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Costa Rica, playing for the Super Falcons of Nigeria, the engagement of NWFL defending champion Bayelsa Queens FC in the ongoing WAFU B qualifiers for the CAF Women Champions League in Côte d'Ivoire, and the participation of 10 out of the 14 NWFL Premiership clubs in the Betsy Obaseki Women's Football Tournament in Benin City, which start from September 7 to 17, were the major factors that forced the decision of the league board to postpone the kickoff date. Shabi added that the NWFL called for the postponement of the NWFL League kickoff date to give the league body more time to perfect the club licensing documentation for all the clubs ahead of the registration for the season. And still on football, the Confederation of African Football CAF has withdrawn 2025 African Cup of Nations from Guinea. CAF announced Guinea as the tournament host on November 30, 2018, but the Continental Football Body has withdrawn the mandate. CAF announced the withdrawal on Thursday after the Executive Committee approved the decision to strip Guinea of the hosting right. CAF noted that given the time frame for the tournament expected to hold in June-July 2025, CAF concluded that Guinea was not ready. The Executive Committee took a unanimous decision based on the report as submitted that the tournament would be withdrawn from Guinea. The Executive Committee also resolved to send a delegation to inform Guinea of CAF's decision to withdraw the African Cup of Nations, as CAF is yet to announce a replacement. That's Sport News. I am Adeyi Ajishafe.
And with that, we've come to the end of News Hour for tonight. You can join us on all our social media platforms for more news. I am Deron Onifade. Have a nice weekend.